Hey everybody, this is Brandon Ford and welcome to the Blind Rage Podcast. We have another special episode. Tony, a.k.a. the Thunder from Down Under, has returned for Psycho Beach Party. Say hi, Tony.
G'day there, everyone.
And this is one of Tony's favorite movies. Isn't that right? It's one of your favorites?
Oh, yes.
Cult films.
Some sexual awakening in one of the scenes. That's for
sure.
Yes.
And I know exactly what scene you're referring to. It's a very nice scene indeed.
Yes.
You didn't really get to see scenes like that in movies at this time. Could you believe this movie's 21 years old?
No, I cannot believe that at all. I can't believe how old I am. So,
yes, that is crazy times.
Yes.
But yeah, so the version that we are watching is from the Strand releasing DVD. I unfortunately don't have the Blu-ray, but this is the uncut 95-minute version, which I had to supply Tony with because it is cut by 10 minutes down under, if you can believe it or not. So, how have you been since the last time we recorded? Anything new and exciting?
Well, I gave our recording a listening to, and I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to that coming up. Aside from that, nothing too interesting on this end. I've been writing a play that I started a few years ago, and just never got around to keeping it going. So,
and is that coming along well?
Well, I've just basically typed out what I had longhand written and then trying to get back into my mindset that I was in. It's a comedy, and I'm not really a great comedy writer, so I'm putting all my eggs in one basket with that one. And yourself?
As far as what is going on personally? I don't have much of a life. I think the few people who actually listen to this podcast, as well as yourself, I think you know that. Do I hear one of the children?
No, you don't. They're my pups. They're out in the backyard. So,
what do I hear whining? Is that the tree?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I suppose we should let the cat out of the bag, so to speak. Do you say that down there, by the way? Let the cat out of the bag?
Yeah. We even say pussy.
Oh, well, we're not going to say that here. Yes. Okay. So, Tony has an overgrown tree limb that is rubbing itself sexually against his window pane, and is causing him a great amount of anxiety, and is in turn causing me a great amount of anxiety because he won't stop talking about it. And now I can hear it.
It's a great horror movie sound effect. I should record it and sell it for.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Do that. Yes. Well, we'll say it's some ambiance. Okay.
Yes.
And that'll be your thing. That'll be your
signature.
No, I was gonna say it'll be your what are those long things that look like a big horn?
Penis?
Say again.
I'm not sure. You're talking about the Switzerland Ricola thing?
The didgeridoo.
Ah, yes.
So it'll be cool.
To correct you, this is my neighbour's tree, so that's why it's a bit harder for me to cut down. But they do let me trim it back a bit, but they just send you home for it.
Can you play didgeridoo, by the way?
No, it's far more a traditional Aboriginal instrument, and it requires you to be able to breathe in with your nose while you're breathing out with your mouth to play it correctly.
Oh. Okay. I heard that it is considered a sacred instrument, and to mock it is a very large slap in the face to the Australians. Is that right?
Well, if I could, it'd be like a crucifix for Christians, I suppose.
Okay. Well, um, we don't have anything like that here. Um, no, and not. I don't think in the country, or well, in Philadelphia, I think our most well, we have a lot of things here because it's a very
Hmm.
historic. You know what drives me crazy? Philadelphia is
What's that?
it's a very historical city, and it is where the country was born. However, the first thing that people think of when they think of Philadelphia is what? Do you know? Can you
The
guess?
cheese?
Cheesesteak. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, the cheesesteak. Cheesesteak. We have the Betsy Ross House. We have the Liberty Bell. We have the Edgar Allan Poe House. We have Old City, where there are cobblestone roads that have been there for hundreds of years, and all these things to see. But the first thing that people do when they come to Philadelphia is go to the two famous cheesesteak places, which are across the street from one another and have the worst cheesesteak in the city.
Yeah. Although, speaking of instruments, you do have the Liberty Bell, so that is something.
Well, we don't, but it does, you don't ring it. And it's got a big crack in it.
Yes. I have seen it. I did visit Philadelphia a few years ago and saw that, oh God, that gentleman that's on top of the building.
Um, yeah, they had to move it. This is really not what people are listening to the podcast for, but yeah, they had to move it because where it was before, it was a little too out in the open, and people
Yeah.
were Philadelphians can be a bit destructive. So
Yeah.
now it's all enclosed in a cage. But I was lucky enough to go on a school field trip when I was, I think, in third or fourth grade, because we used to take field trips to all of the historical areas of the city.
Hmm.
And I got to run my finger along the crack, which I'm quite, accustomed to.
Was that your sexual awakening?
Yeah, yes. But I got to touch the crack. So I can say that I touched the most famous crack in Philadelphia. I can say that. Yeah. It's one of my few accomplishments in life. So we're going to be watching Psycho Beach Party, as I said, but before we get started, I need to, and I hear my fucking neighbors out. So, yeah. So you're going to have your issue and I'm going to have mine. And this is going to make for splendid listening. I would like to encourage all the listeners out there to please go to Amazon.com. And now there's a dog too. Wonderful. Go to Amazon.com to check out my books in paperback and Kindle editions. My most recent title, He Wore a Leather Jacket, is available in, like I said, paperback and Kindle. I am trying to get things together for the audiobook. Hopefully that should be out by the fall. I have 10 audiobooks available on Audible. Most recently, The Mystery of Kelly Christopher, Progressive Entrapment, and that just completely made my mind go blank. So thank you for that. Yeah, if you don't already, please follow me on Instagram at writer Brandon Ford. I'm also on Twitter at Brandon Ford and Letterboxd at Brandon Ford. And Tony, do you want to give your Letterboxd account?
Oh, yes, it's Tony_the_bear. The last one I did was the craft. Which,
Oh, one of my favorites. But please tell me it was the original.
Yes, absolutely. I haven't seen I haven't seen the sequel thing,
Neither have
which I
I.
might still do, even though I hear bad things about it, just to give it a go.
Yeah, I hear it's not very good. Um,
Well, I think the original is in people's hearts, and once you start messing around with something that people really love, it's a give and take situation.
I saw The Craft theatrically on Easter Sunday
Oh,
when it first came out. And speaking of The Craft, do you know what other movie the writer director did?
yes, I do. He did Bad Dreams.
Very good.
And he
Yes.
also did one I watched recently called Ideal Home, which is unlike either of those two, but quite a fun little movie.
No, none of his movies are really. They're all very different.
Yes.
He definitely has a unique voice. Another one of his movies that he did in the early '90s was called Threesome, and
Oh, really?
yeah,
I have
that
seen that one.
yeah that's a great movie. But it's kind of depressing. But it also helped me realize my sexual um,
Energy.
orientation. Yes,
Yes.
yes, emergence, and because I because of the Truth or Dare. Is Madonna's documentary called Truth or Dare, or is it called In
Yes.
Bed with Madonna? Oh, then it's just that's just the UK.
Oh, okay.
Um, you didn't know that?
No, I wasn't sure if that was just the tagline to Truth or Dare.
No, no, it's called In Bed with Madonna in the UK because I don't know if they have Truth or Dare, the game over there.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
well, I'm sure everyone knows of it. Yeah.
um, yeah, but anyway, because of the dancers in the documentary, that was my earliest understanding of what a homosexual male was like.
Yeah.
Um, and then when I saw Threesome and Josh Charles's character, I identified with him because he was an intellectual. He always had his nose in a book. He wanted to succeed in school. He's very academic. And that was kind of me to a certain
Yeah.
degree. I definitely related to him more than I did to the dancers in Truth or Dare. But
Yes. And it's good to see yourself
yeah,
represented in movies. Yeah.
yes, and it's very very rare to see a gay male character, at least for me, that doesn't isn't a stereotype.
Yes.
It's one of the main reasons why I couldn't stomach Queer as Folk after the first or second season. But yeah, so Psycho Beach Party is written by a homosexual writer director Charles Busch, who has one of the worst nose jobs I've ever seen in my life. He do,
Very Roman nose. Yes.
It's Julia Roberts' nose. It's Julia Roberts' exact nose. He went to a plastic surgeon and said, "Give me the Julia Roberts."
Hmm.
That's what he did. It's a woman's nose. Okay. All right. All right. So we're going to start the movie and we're going to talk more about Charles Busch's nose job.
his,
So go ahead.
his sleeping with the enemy reference. That's you just got me thinking of that movie.
I saw that theatrically too.
Oh, okay.
I also saw Pretty Woman theatrically because I'm very old.
Well, I was maybe a bit too young to be seeing those type of movies
Well, so
with
was
my
I. I
sisters
was only like 9 for Pretty Woman.
because they were both quite rude, as in for a child.
Sort of. Uh, it is an R movie, but Okay.
They had their bedroom scenes. Okay.
They did, but it was more kissing and tussling.
Yeah.
It really wasn't. It because it was supposed to be romantic. So
Yes.
I don't think it was very sexually explicit. And you know, I wasn't really excited by Richard Gere because I was surprised when I realized he was only 40 in that movie. Because when I was a kid, I thought he was about 60.
Yeah. He was a silver fox from like his 30s.
Yeah, he was like 39, 40, something like that. He was pretty young. Okay. So do you have your movie ready to go?
Yes, I just got to press play.
Okay. So if you're watching along, we're going to begin with a 3 count. Going to do 3, 2, 1, then play. And here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. You really slammed that key down. It was like you were terrified that you weren't going to start the movie at the exact same moment.
It was for dramatic effect.
A little bit. So we have Amy Adams in this movie who went on to
Yes.
to some acclaim. And yeah, I was reading that she wasn't too happy about the scene with the bikini bottom when it gets ripped off.
Yes.
She wasn't happy about that. And she had to get fully waxed, which was crazy to think because at that time, girls actually did have pubic hair.
Exactly. It was in vogue. I'm
It
surprised because, for nude scenes in Australian cinema, generally the actors have something called a privacy pouch, which is a nice way of saying the marble sack. And I would have assumed that she would have been given something to cover herself up for in front of
She
the
should
crew,
have.
but-
She should have. There's David Chokachi, who hasn't really done much of anything. He used to be pretty cute.
And here's oh god, what's her name?
I don't know what she's from.
She's an Australian actress.
Is she?
I
didn't know that.
She was in a show called Neighbours, which is a very
Oh,
popular soap opera.
Neighbours, which has launched the career of pretty much every single Australian celebrity,
Yes.
including Kylie and Delta. And was Danny on that show?
No, Danny was on the competing soap opera called Home and Away.
What were you gonna say?
Bloody hell. No, I remembered her name right before we started talking, and then now that we're talking, I cannot remember her name at all.
Well, we'll get to see the opening titles in a minute. So,
Yes.
her.
Though she wasn't in too much. I think she was in the show Central Park West, which was a
Oh yeah, that was a
short run. soap
yeah,
opera.
it didn't. I think that was NBC's answer to Melrose Place.
Yes.
I have Lauren Ambrose.
Hello, Lars.
Yeah, they make them nice in Sweden. Lauren
You have to use an Allen
Ambrose.
key, though.
She is such. I think she is such an underrated actress.
Yes. She was
And-
actually my favourite part of 6 Feet Under. I used to really root for her character.
Me too. I think so too.
And speaking of gay representation as well.
Right.
By way of her brother.
Right. And Michael C. Hall. Because, yeah, they very much made him a stereotype, which I didn't really appreciate after a while. That show got a bit tedious after a while because if you look at it, the whole show essentially centered around every single character messing around on their significant other. Every single one of them fucked around.
Yeah.
Nobody
that's
was
true.
faithful. Nobody was honorable. And it did not give me much hope and faith in finding a relationship with somebody who would be faithful to me. This Kathleen Robertson from
Yes.
90210.
And Scary Movie 2.
Scary Movie 2, yep.
Yeah, I know. Calls himself Starcat. Dropped out of Northwestern. He's out in Malibu with the
And she was also in a movie. The first time I saw her, she was in a movie with the Coreys called Blown Away. It was made for HBO. It was kind of like supposed to be an erotic thriller aimed at a teenage audience, although it was very sexually explicit.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know this, but parts of this were filmed in Australia.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know that either.
what can I do for you, doll?
I think we're about to get our first appearance of Anne Bowman.
Who do you have to fuck around here?
Say what?
You heard me, Buster. And I'm not paying extra for dialogue. So cut the chin music.
Cut the chin music. I love that line. I stole that line into one of my books. So when did you first see this?
Around the time when it came out on VHS. And I watched it thinking it was going to be a horror movie. So I was a little disappointed, but the next time around I was quite happy with the... I got into it a lot better.
Yeah, once I realized what it was, I really got into it. Because I thought it was going to be a horror movie too. Now, from what I remember, this is what a woman is supposed to look like. Because she's not rail thin. She doesn't have a huge ass. She's healthy. She's very attractive. She, I think, is a very good representation of a real woman and not what you would see on Instagram these days.
And I do miss a good opening sequence.
Yeah, they don't do them like they used to anymore. And when I did, believe it or not, watch this with my parents, and my parents were children of the 60s, and I remember my mother was very impressed with her go-go dancing. Yeah, I just remember her saying, "Wow, she's good."
Yes. Although I think every time I say this, I keep thinking it's the mother from Nashville. Like, I forget her name. It's obviously not, but she always reminds me of her.
Did you catch the name of?
Oh, Butterscotch. No.
Well, that's okay. And so we also have
She'll be right.
Yeah. We also have Nicholas Brendan, who's, I don't know how he's doing these days, but he was fighting his had some demons he was fighting with alcoholism.
Yeah, I read that recently. Is that he sort of fell off that wagon, and I don't think he's made too much more of himself since the days of Buffy.
Oh, there's Charles Busch
Yes,
and his famous nose job.
the nose knows no bounds.
Have you seen any of Charles Busch's other movies?
No, I haven't. Yeah, and you were saying, I didn't even realize how far his movie career went.
Well, not too far as far as movies go, because as far as I know, I think he only did 3 movies that were adaptations of his plays.
Yeah.
But after this one, it was Die Mommy Die, which was a parody of thrillers of the 40s and 50s.
Like Faster Pussycat type of thing.
Yeah, like the Joan Crawford type, like Sunset Boulevard, all those kinds of
Yeah.
movies.
What were you doing around 2
Um,
p.m., Mrs. Forrest?
What any woman
I
should
like
do
this
that.
one. I like this one better.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty fun. It has Natasha Lyonne and Jason
And Florence
Priestley.
has to practice her oboe. She has a recital coming up.
And here's Beth. What's her name? Beth Broderick.
Broderick.
Yeah,
Yes.
from Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Show
Mm-hmm.
me a subpoena, Flatfoot.
Show me a subpoena, Flatfoot. That's a good line.
Madam Detective, I will not
Yeah,
be
and
found.
so Charles Busch wrote
As far
this
as I
character
know,
for
we are not
himself
part of the
because he played Chicklet on
Yes.
stage, which
Yes.
I can't imagine at all.
Lars, where are you off?
Could you
Driving
picture
around
him
Lars?
playing Chicklet?
Robbing a bank?
Um,
Leave that to
well,
me.
in the same way that Divine was playing young characters
Nonsense.
in that way, yes. But by way of reality, no.
Personal things since Mrs. Forrest
Mm.
was gone.
I mean, but when Chicklet must have been completely a totally different character than she's portrayed by Lauren Ambrose because I just can't picture Charles being as bubbly and
Yeah. Well, I suppose with Lauren Andros, the bubbliness comes across more natural, whereas
Yes.
if with Bush, it might be more ironic or sarcastic chirpiness.
Mother, can't you just throw that in the machine?
yeah.
Darling, you know I'm a perfectionist.
And one thing that's interesting about Charles Busch is his natural male speaking voice is actually higher than his female voice.
All time.
Okay, yeah.
Keep moving.
Yeah, because he did a commentary track for The Bad Seed with Patty McCormick, because
Yeah.
that's like one of his favorite movies. But yeah, so he did Die Mommy Die a few years after this. I think it was '04 or '05, and then he did another movie called A Very Serious Person, which was more of a drama.
Okay.
It really wasn't what I'd expected after these two movies.
Yeah. Maybe it was like his Torch Song trilogy movie.
Sort of. He plays a male character in it, although you wouldn't really know. But yeah, he's a nurse in it, and he goes to he's like I think a hospice nurse for this woman at her summer home when her grandson is visiting. Her grandson is like 12 or something like that, and Charles's character sees that this kid is gay, and
Yeah.
he takes a liking to him because I guess he wants to be a positive role model for this kid,
Yeah.
especially since he really doesn't have any friends. It's a little on the dry side. It's okay. We also have Thomas Gibson here. There's a lot of notable names in this movie.
Yeah. But I'm quite proud of Amy Adams, her career after this point, that something was made of her.
Yeah, she did really well after this. And like I was telling you, I can't remember his name, but the actor who plays Provolone was in that gay slasher movie Hellbent. That was the only other
okay.
thing. That was the only other thing that I saw him in. And I just remember his I think it was his introduction in the movie is he was having a threesome in the backseat of a car in broad daylight with a guy and a girl.
Huh.
Well, it was supposed to take place
I
in
would
West
struggle
Hollywood.
with a twosome in the backseat of a car.
Oh, it was a threesome. Yes.
Mm.
Oh, hardly. The one with the Coke bottles on her eyes had something that resembled a car. My folks took my
I always remember I was once caught by a security guard doing that in the backseat of a car. A twosome.
Oh, you naughty boy.
Well, when you're living with your parents.
I was almost caught, actually. This was when I was 20, but
Yeah.
I was in a bit kind of a deserted parking lot, and somebody drove by us, and they drove a little too close to us, so it was clear that they wanted the headlights to flash inside the car to see what was going on, and they knew what was going on, and they called the police.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, but what happened was by the time the police got there, we were done. And I was a smoker at the time, and he wasn't. So I was just sitting on a curb near where we were parked, and I was just smoking a cigarette. And I just remember the cop hanging out of the car going, "What's up, guy?" And I was like, "Nothing." And they was like, "What are you guys doing here?" And my ex made it out like I wanted to smoke a cigarette, but he didn't want me to smoke in his car.
Yeah.
And so he was like, the cop was like, there are lots of better places for you to be smoking a cigarette. And that was pretty much it.
Oh no! I'm afraid of sharks! All points bulletin for a big strong hero!
If
That's
you're
not
scared
something
of
that I would do.
sharks, why go into the water?
Well, you know what I heard recently? I
What's that?
heard that sharks are actually... when you're in the ocean, sharks are around you a lot more than you think.
Yeah.
And they just don't... Most of them just don't want anything to do with you. They're not interested in eating people. So in comparison, or rather compared to how many shark attacks there are, to how many sharks are around you when you're swimming in the ocean, actual shark attacks happen very infrequently.
Yeah.
Have you seen that movie, Blood Surf?
No, I haven't.
Not very good. But it was shot in Australia. It was an American movie, but about these surfers who were surfing in an area where there were these giant crocodiles.
Yeah.
Or alligators or whatever, and they called it blood surfing because there was a good chance that you could get eaten alive.
Yeah.
And some of them did, unfortunately. That's pretty much the only thing that I remember about it, except that one of the guys in it was really hot.
Oh, okay, yeah. Did you ever watch The Ghost in the Darkness?
No.
That was based on a true story. It was with Michael Douglas and Val Kilmer, I think. And it was about these lions that were attacking villages.
Oh.
And ultimately, later on, after the movie had finished, scientists reckon they found the lions that were doing it, and their teeth weren't strong enough for usual for what they would usually eat, so that's why they were tending to attack humans more than animals.
Oh no.
But the movie was about how the tribesmen thought they were like ghosts that were attacking the tribe.
Pussycat, if you look like that, we'd be doing more than chewing the fat. What I crave. More than anything, I live another way.
Thomas Gibson got. Did you hear about the controversy with him a couple of years ago?
With
About
Criminal
him?
Minds?
Yeah, he kicked the guy in the
Yes.
ass.
Who are you?
I'm revealing my true nature.
Listen, jailbait.
Yeah.
Live by my personal code of honor, I'd take it down.
First
He
time I
does not come across as someone like that at all.
No, he doesn't. But I heard that he and Jenna Elfman did not get along at all when they were doing Dharma and Greg.
My pad.
Oh, okay.
For Scientologist, Jenna Elfman seems very normal.
What about for a normal person? Would just seem normal.
For a normal person, she seems quite normal, yes.
I ain't scared.
See,
She's-
I would feel that he was most like his Eyes Wide Shut character, just looking at what it's like. But
Yes.
Oh,
Thomas Gibson, yeah,
Thomas Gibson was in Eyes Wide Shut?
yeah, he sort of played like a cucked husband, I reckon.
I didn't. I actually never saw that.
The movie?
Mm-hmm.
To start,
Yeah, no, I never saw it.
But what'll the rest of the fellas think?
hell with the rest of the fellas.
I first saw him in a Canadian, because he's Canadian,
Told a girl can't surf.
Canadian thriller
Do all sorts of things.
that was
Be
uh,
an executive.
another ensemble that centered around some gay characters. It's called Love and Human Remains.
Oh, I've heard of that, but I haven't seen it. Yeah.
It's a really, really good movie.
And then tomorrow
And it was based on a play called, let's see if I get this right, a play that is called Unidentified Human Remains and the True Nature of Love,
Yeah.
which I haven't seen. Oh, and I was looking at the Wikipedia for Psycho Beach Party, I saw that there were some stage productions of Psycho Beach Party in Melbourne in March.
Recently? Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I was going to actually say that they did a production in Adelaide decades ago. Sort of trying to find the next Rocky Horror Picture Show type of stage production.
Mm.
And they only really remember, like, it didn't do well, but they only remembered about it because they refurbished the stage and they found all the sand underneath from.
Oh, wow.
You're the emperor of the 7 seas. This makes us all look cheap. Hey, Kanaka doesn't have to answer to anybody. If he wants to indulge this pipsqueak's penis envy, that's his business. Kanaka, I thought you had
Did I miss the part where he grabs them and says, "Hold me closer, you great big hunk of He-Man"?
I don't think so, no.
Tell when she's coming back.
Because I do enjoy that.
chick. You're the chick less.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah, that should be a new name. Don't you dig it?
He in Hellbent, he essentially plays the same character
Yeah.
as Provolone.
But does this mean I get to be part of the gang?
He was in a soap opera. I forget what one. It was on during the day, like.
There are some prize tomatoes in that tin can. I didn't
Is he Australian too?
for good reason.
No, I don't believe so, no.
Really? Have you ever been inside?
In my
Well, he
time,
definitely has a soap opera
there are
look.
jokes, all right.
Yes.
Feel it in my nuts. You and your nuts. I've had a mandatory ball since I was 8.
He's been in a bunch of stuff. I can't remember his name.
Time of day. There's a pileup on Route 66.
Um,
Something really awful happened?
I think he was in
People were born.
the movie Go with
Oh, okay.
Katie Holmes.
Yeah.
And I also think he was in. If he's who I think he is, and I think he is who I think he is. He was also in a really terrible movie that was like a teen thriller from around the same time called The In Crowd.
Oh, yeah, I saw that and have forgotten it entirely.
Most people
I think
have.
it was very good.
Yeah, most people have. It was one of those movies that just came and went, which was unusual for that time because of video and cable. But yeah, that was a very, very forgettable movie.
Friends down at the beach. Well, you heard wrong. I heard she calls herself a chicklet. That she's hanging out with that sweet. Florence is my
Berdine
She's gonna be
is about to do one of those so cliche jokes that I can't stand, where people say that 30 is old, which he says you're talking like an old lady, like you were 30. It's not funny. I don't think it was funny the first time it was ever written. It's just stupid.
Well, they've got a similar joke. Not that it was a joke in A Nightmare on Elm Street, where Nancy looks at herself with the grey hair and she's like, "Oh my god, I look 20."
Yeah, and she was 20 at the time.
Yeah.
Because I saw that for the 20th anniversary, they did a limited theatrical screening. When she said that line, the whole theater just lost their minds with laughter. And another thing that the crowd thought was particularly humorous was Renee Blakely's portrayal of Marge Thompson, Nancy's alcoholic mother. When you look back on it now, it was really bad.
Well, apparently she used to reapply her own makeup because she wouldn't like how the makeup artist did it. So she'd come out and the crew would not know what she'd look like.
She won an Academy Award for something in the 70s, I think. Yeah, it was long before A Nightmare on Elm Street. You wouldn't think, because she didn't come across as a very strong actress.
I'll take an X-Lax. On this fine morning,
What do you think of what's his name with the blonde hair? Provolone's love interest.
They're a good match.
You think so?
They're a yin and yang.
I don't know. There's just something about him that doesn't do it for me.
A bit too Aryan?
Maybe. He's
Like
very,
a
very
crappy
blonde.
Nazi.
He's definitely
Yes.
very blonde. Yeah, maybe.
Oh, here's the good thing.
Oh, yes. Now, how many times did you masturbate to this particular scene, Tony? Be honest.
Between runs. It was my fluffer scene.
It is quite nice, though. I wonder how long they had to do that for, or how many takes they had to do of that.
Well, apparently a lot of the scenes were done in one take or two at the
Yeah,
most.
I was reading that, yeah.
What the hell is that? Yo, it's got psoriasis on it.
In my head, I'd like to think that it went on all day.
That there's an extended cut.
Yes.
And this group of deadbeats?
Alibis as tight as Sandra D's butt. Except that one.
Although I think, because I saw this before watching many John Waters stuff, it was sort of the first movie I saw where a drag queen wasn't done for jokes. Like she's not a Frankenfurter type of
I saw her.
Yeah. Yeah, that she was it's just a character.
Yeah.
The great Kanaka.
It was just she was just a man playing a woman.
Yes. And there wasn't really any joke attached to it like
Come by with those hands
Sean Young in Ace Ventura type of thing.
together.
Yeah.
You forget that I'm both a cop and a lady. Why are you picking on us? We didn't do
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, which is hasn't aged well. Apparently, a lot of people find that movie very offensive these days.
You kids think you own this beach. Think it's a teenage world.
I hate when he does that voice. Think it's a teenage world.
I love that voice.
Why? It's so annoying. And he does it all the time. He does it in Die Mommy Die too.
Cold steel. Blinding lights. Formica coffee table.
Oh, I've heard enough.
Well, you'll be hearing
You think it's a teenage world?
You hear?
Nobody's sleeping with the fishes. See?
why you got it into so bad.
Yeah, like should have a cigar while.
Carving up Junior like a Thanksgiving turkey? How does a monster like that sleep at night?
If you're insane, you might not even remember you did it. You might not remember anything.
What caused Chiclet's trauma?
It was sand on the butt that spiraled out with the wind.
It's 2 in the morning.
It was a far reach.
What the hell are you talking about?
Only to someone with insomnia.
Oh, I thought you meant her recent when she changed personalities
No,
to anti-man.
I was talking about the the circles, with the swing going around and around.
Yes.
That was something that I was always petrified of. Although the laws of physics make it, very, very unlikely.
Yes.
I can't remember.
But it was something that I was scared of when I used to
Yeah.
go on the swings.
You must not torture yourself. You are alive. You must
Well, probably because you knew at that age, if you got to the top, you just plummet downwards.
I wonder if that's really Swedish. I'm guessing not.
It's from the Rosen Island School of Sweden.
It does make me wonder.
Well, don't forget she graduated first in her class in Latin as well.
This blonde actress who, I forget her name, her other big role was she sued a sex company because they used her picture to advertise a vibrator.
Oh,
So you look real familiar.
Oh, no, I don't.
Give us a clue. What's your name?
I'm afraid I can't answer that.
I always thought she kind of looked
Chick, we'll move a little to the
very plastic.
A little more.
Yeah.
She's a little too Barbie doll-esque.
Pizza waitress with 3 heads.
No one must know my true identity. I ran away from the studio. You can't imagine what it's like being exploited.
She's got the very 90s eyebrows.
Flesh peddlers and power brokers.
Um,
Everyone wanted a little piece.
I don't know. Whenever she was on screen, I just couldn't look at anything past her lips.
Do the force.
Yes.
Kill trash. They have no respect for the rights of the individual.
We'll respect.
She's likable. I think she does the part well.
Yeah, she did comedy well, and being, I had just seen her in soap opera, which is unintentionally comedy, but
Yesterday I waited for you at Augie's for
it was good to see her not take herself too seriously.
Yes, you're definitely not Florence anymore. Bettina! He's in hiding. Oh, Bettina Barnes in person.
That would be me. I would recognize some Z grade actress and freak out.
Did you really? Oh, yes,
I feel like I would just treat them like, "G'day, how you been?"
That's an embodiment of Nietzsche and Superman.
Like as if we've known each other for
Go for the truth and the eternal
Yeah, because you'd seen them in so many movies, you can't help but feel like you know them.
Yeah. Like at the moment, we've got Alan Cumming in the city because he's hosting a cabaret festival, and I was like,
lucky you.
I don't see him. I watched one of the shows, which I think you would have liked. Maybe it was.
No, I don't like cabarets, and I don't like musicals. I don't like any of that gay stuff culture.
Oh, okay then. Well, this was the guy who would put paint on his penis and draw pictures.
Oh, didn't he go by like a Picasso or something?
No, it's the naked artist, Brenton something.
I must be thinking of somebody else because there was an Australian painter who did paintings with his penis, and he went by the name of a very famous artist.
Yeah. Salvador Dickey.
Oh,
I don't know.
Did you just make
guy
that
was
up?
Canadian. I did.
Go ahead. He was Canadian.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
He flopped it out.
Oh.
Did a picture of a koala, and then did a picture of a rainforest.
Oh, for God's sake. Okay. But yeah, I did read Alan Cumming's book.
You okay?
About his relationship with his father.
Okay.
What would you say, crazy?
I watched. He and Jennifer Jason Leigh co-directed a movie that I quite liked called The Anniversary Party, and sometimes when I feel I need inspiration for writing, I'll watch that or another movie called The House of Yes, which I quite like for its dialogue. So.
Yeah, I enjoy movies that are very, very dialogue driven. I like movies that are character studies, and you can very easily see them as plays.
Yeah.
I took an intro to theater course, and as part of the curriculum, we had to go see a few. I think we had to see 4 plays, and it was the first time I'd actually seen like real theater, and I really liked it.
Yeah.
So cultured, so refined.
There was a year when I wanted to do my resolution was to stage a play, and it obviously never happened, but I wanted to do a gay version of Hard Candy.
Oh, I love Hard Candy.
And I could easily see that as a play.
Yes, absolutely. I saw that in, theatrically too.
Yeah.
That was a movie that had a limited theatrical release, and I had to wait until it came to Philly because first it played in Los Angeles, and then it played in New York, and then slowly it got here.
Yeah.
And I had to go to one of the specialty theaters that played like independent films. Same theater I saw that movie Full Frontal. Have you ever seen that?
Oh, the Steven Soderbergh?
I think so. Yeah, with Catherine
David
Keener.
Duchovny. Yep.
Yeah, and it doesn't have Full Frontal, which is a bunch of bullshit.
I haven't seen it, no, but I think I did rent it and I tried to get it and I just couldn't be bothered with it.
No, it wasn't very good. I actually saw that with the guy that I was having the parking lot dalliance with.
10-year-old Larry was the youngest of the 3 kids.
One hot summer night, he couldn't sleep, so he took his mom's sharpest carving knife.
Oh, my goosebumps.
You know, they say this house is haunted, and if you're scared, I'd make a pitch of being your bodyguard all night long if need be.
So I think a lot of this was Malibu Beach, I think, or was set. might have been set in Malibu. I don't know if it was actually shot there.
Let's do it.
We'll have a slumber party. Share
Um,
a whack at some of those spells. That'll teach those evil spirits who's boss.
Ooh, they're gonna have a slumber party with a seance.
Run by a movie.
Is that your allusion to Alison's birthday?
It's just my idea of a good time.
I've never been part of a seance.
Oh, I have. A few.
Did you call any corners?
No, nothing happened. I actually did one on Halloween. On Halloween night, thinking that, all the dark forces are out. We're going to invoke so many spirits. I might even get possessed. This is going to be so fun. And not a fucking thing happened. It was a bunch of bullshit. A man's sweaty thing poking at you. You know how repugnant that is, Tony?
Well, not if you're looking the other way.
And I don't think our things are all that sweaty.
Don't tell me how to hand my man a sloppy, baby. I grease up the cake pan, throw it in the oven, and let
This is one of Tylene Carmichael Carmel is one of my favorite.
She works at the Safeway.
She works at the Safeway. She's one of my favorite personalities. Yes. This is she almost rivals Toni Collette in United States of Terror.
Ah, yes.
Did you know that Lauren is a classically trained opera singer?
Oh, no, I didn't know.
You get kind of a hint of it at the luau.
Yeah.
When all the personalities are going through her and she's like speaking Spanish.
Ah.
And then
Yes,
like,
and she does a...
Yeah, she does a really high note. And she did sing during that that fantasy sequence in 6 Feet Under.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Good gravy, I forgot to shrimp. That's supposed to come first.
Oh, she's adorable.
Why don't we take a break?
Shortly after it was 3 years, so it wasn't too short. Lauren Ambrose did a sitcom for Fox with
I think it's best if we presume
oh shit. Parker Posey.
Oh,
And-
really?
Yes, and I really, really liked it. And it was called The Return of Jezebel James. And Fox ordered 7 episodes, but it was so poorly reviewed and was so poorly rated that Fox pulled it after 3.
Yeah. I think one of the most disappointing criticisms of a show is if it's too ahead of its time. Like, I could imagine that show doing better today than back then.
Oh, so you saw it?
I feel I reckon I remember the name.
I remember I had an iPod video at that time when they were sort of kind of new, and iTunes had all 7 episodes. So I bought the series and I watched it on my iPod.
How's about a truce?
Were you ever a Buffy fan?
I was at the beginning.
Yeah.
Buffy is how I became a fan of Sarah Michelle Gellar. I think I watched maybe the first 2 seasons I didn't get very deep into it. I don't think I got to when Angel started. David Boreanaz is from Philly, by the way.
Oh, really?
And his father, up until about 10 years ago or so, was an anchor on our local news.
Oh, okay. The only famous Philly I know is M. Night Shyamalan.
The Sixth Sense. Well, the exteriors of the apartment where they live, Tony Collette and the son. That was yeah, that was shot right down the street from where I went to school, high school.
Oh, nice.
And they shot some other scenes right. It was like right outside our schoolyard, which we never went in anyway, because we didn't have like basketball or anything. We didn't go outside. We were never allowed to go outside. So, but
the kids and the others,
I guess. But I remember the day they were filming. One of the security guards or whatever you call it at our school stopped me and a friend of mine when we were going to class, and he was just like, they're filming a movie in this area, and they don't want anybody to come outside. And he was like, yeah, Bruce Willis is out there right now, and which was kind of a big fucking tease. We couldn't even look out the window.
Have I been acting strange lately? Other than being an obnoxious snob? Like that, huh? Oh, it's okay.
So did you have a security guard at school?
Oh, we had several, yeah.
Oh. Is that a usual thing, or is it like the area that you're in?
It's a thing, and well, I don't know how. I think it's changed. It's gotten a lot worse now. I think a lot of schools have metal detectors. We didn't have metal detectors when I went to high school, but yeah, we always had well, they actually wore badges in high school.
Oh well. Well, now that I think about it and going back, they did have a security guard in the craft, so... How they love a woman in uniform.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's right. But she looked like a policewoman. Yeah. Ours didn't look like cops. They didn't have guns or anything. But my high school really didn't have a violence problem. I don't even think I saw any fights.
Yeah.
I mean, in comparison to some of the other schools in Philadelphia, mine was pretty harmonious.
Yeah.
I never really had any trouble in high school. How about you?
We had a few fist fights. Let's say maybe twice a year. It wasn't really a big thing, but like, I'm just noticing that this wasn't actually in the Australian release.
This is so gross, especially the double with the
sagging tits,
saggy boobs. Yes, it was. But she was built just like Charles Busch, so and it looked like the wig fit her. Nice. I remember you could really, really see his 5 o'clock shadow in the scene.
Yes, yeah.
I'm taking the detective's exam next month.
That is something that's really hard to cover, from what I hear. That was something that Divine always had trouble with.
Sure you can understand that.
Yeah.
And yeah, Ricky Lake talks about that in one of the John Waters documentaries, and when she was talking about making hairspray in Baltimore in the dead of summer, and like all of his makeup was running because he had to wear so much of it.
Yeah.
None of it. Come back! Darling, all the success in the world means nothing unless you're beside me. I need you!
I've been to
So it sort
Baltimore.
of explains a bit
Of course I am.
their background.
Strange. The victim had
Well,
all
yeah,
kinds of testicle
it's their flashback.
I believe
Yes.
Yes.
No, it's my first time seeing it.
Oh, is it?
Yes. That was the scene that was
Oh.
not in the Australian DVD.
Oh,
distinguishing marks.
okay.
Yes, indeedy. Victim had
So it was. I thought it was just the UK version that this scene was cut out of.
No.
Heartbreak of psoriasis.
Hmm.
And this young
Well, looking at the trivia, it was saying the international release. So I assume it might have been a few regions that didn't get it.
Look at this dull blade. Can't even slice through a sandwich.
Well, even with that scene cut, it still got an M rating in Australia,
Yeah.
which is kind of ridiculous.
Same without TJ and Junior.
I'm surprised this. I think this got an R here,
Yeah.
which is really kind of ridiculous when you look at it, because this is very
Yeah.
much a PG-13 movie because there's nothing in it.
Well, the Australian M is the PG-13 of America.
Mm. Well,
Yeah, I mean, they'd want us to have a good time.
for what you would expect in an R movie in the United States, you know, there's nothing. There's no nudity. There's a little bit of cursing,
Yeah.
but it's not really much.
See, we discussed once before how I was telling you I was watching a documentary about American censorship on
Yeah, this
like
film is not yet
homosexuality,
rated.
and that
Oh.
that might have been why you got the R rating. Just
That's
for that
I was thinking.
reference
Yeah,
to homosexuality.
that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Maybe Marvel Land. Hey, buddy, can I borrow a few bucks to buy something sweet to keep my girl cuddly?
It was probably that.
Dr. Edwards. In the past, I've had little use for you.
It couldn't have been the cursing because you can get away with a few F-bombs in a PG-13 movie
Yes.
as long as they're not said in a sexual way.
Yes, that was we learnt that in Crybaby.
They can leave the cops and rob the stuff to me.
Yeah, they beeped it in the
What am I looking for?
on the VHS.
Yeah, but I think because you're allowed to have one or two, but if you've got more than that, then you get an R rating.
Yeah, and they didn't want they couldn't have an R rating or something. I don't know, but John didn't want to cut it or change it, so they just beeped it.
Which
But-
I think it made it funny anyway.
Well, on the DVD, it's not beeped.
Yeah.
I don't really like Crybaby.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but you were saying you don't really like musicals.
No, I don't like musicals. Mm-mm. And I'm not really big on Johnny Depp.
In his power to pass as
Yeah.
he or she could be anyone.
I like Susan Terrell, and I like Ricky Lake.
Funny coincidence.
The girl who is the main girl, Amy
Oh, yeah.
Locane. Yeah, she's got some problems.
If she puts out, will he respect her?
Yeah, if you look her up, she's really, well, first of all, she's not really a good actress. That's why she got fired after 12 episodes of Melrose Place, and she was replaced with Daphne Zuniga.
Oh, okay.
But she is a pretty bad alcoholic and was married to a guy who owned a vineyard, which is a dangerous combination.
Yes.
But I think that she must have been drinking while she was pregnant because she has 2 kids with Downs.
Oh, okay.
And then there was she had a car accident where she T-boned an elderly couple. And I think she might have killed one or both of them. And supposedly, from what I heard, she was so far gone that, the police told her to sit by the curb while they were doing their investigation. And she was just in hysterics, laughing.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh.
Back up! I got your plate. I'll cut you. I will cut you. Don't mess with me, boy. Don't even try to escape.
I like it when she says, "Why you dressed like a hoe?"
Fresh off the set of Maury Povich.
Mm-hmm. She's very cash me outside.
Yes. How about that?
Miss B, Augie's does deliver. Berdine, how can I express universal emotions if I don't observe how real people live? Oh, how terrible.
They is this when? I think we passed the scene when Bettina was using that that belt that was supposed to dissolve fat molecules from like
Yes, yeah.
Howard Stern was actually talking about that on a show recently because he grew up in that time, and I think his mother had one.
Yeah. Did he used to use it the wrong way around?
He didn't say.
I feel that technology has come back because my sister had one of those. You just stand on it. It's a platform that wobbles.
And you really think it works?
Well, it didn't work for her, but that's glandular.
Can't even see those itty bitty lines. Anyway, it's been a thrill.
I kind of like this. I kind of like this how they made her so nasty.
Yes.
She's nasty, but she's funny. It's kind of like that episode of The Big Bang Theory where the deaf girl was a gold digger and she was really nasty.
Oh, I don't remember that.
You don't remember
I
that
remember
one?
there being a deaf. I remember there being a deaf girl that Howard could talk with, but I forgot her being nasty.
Yeah, she was taking Raj for a ride.
Yeah.
She was getting all his money, and Kaylee Cuoco didn't see it at first, and I just remember her saying, "What did she say?" It was like, "Deaf people are nice," or "Disabled people are nice," or something like that. And then she realized what this girl was after, and she told Howard, and she signed something nasty, and he couldn't say it because he couldn't say it. And plus he was kind of distracted, and he was like, I don't know what she said, something about mind your own something business and go something yourself.
Oh, yep. I remember that now.
You're not even old enough to be smoking.
You're annoying me.
You're on a wild.
Although I have used that term before, peasant be gone.
Yeah, it sounds like something you would say.
Oh, I think it's fabulous.
Are you okay? It happened again.
What happened?
I definitely don't think
Oh God, what's wrong?
whatever her name is, Kathleen Robertson's character, her head on the wheel could have gotten this an R, because that head is so fake looking.
Yeah.
And the way it's funny because it's still the wheel's still spinning.
And it does look like a mannequin head.
Yeah.
Crippled girl fits the pattern.
The crippled girl. No, you don't say that anymore.
Why am I feeling a sense of deja vu?
I do like that line though in Drop Dead Gorgeous when Kirstie Alley parks in a handicap spot, and I don't remember who she was in the car with, but she's like, you can't park in a handicap spot. She's like, I told you I would move the car if a cripple came.
Oh God.
You never saw that?
That is one movie. No, I have not, and I've been aching to see it.
It's really funny. I think you would like it.
Yes, I've seen some of the shorts, and yes.
A boy with psoriasis, another with one testicle. Is there anything about you?
It's one of those movies where I can know some of the lines, and like.
Come now. Everyone has something they'd rather hide.
A really good cast. This was kind of before Kirstie Alley kind of flipped.
Oh yeah.
And before Kirsten Dunst went to rehab.
Did she go to rehab?
She did.
Oh. She must have kept it a bit quiet.
We had Denise Richards.
Brittany Murphy.
Brittany Murphy. She was funny. She was funny in that.
There's nothing wrong with me.
Although I now feel a bit sad watching her movies.
Have you ever heard of the movie Cherry Falls?
Yes.
Have you seen it?
I have, but I don't really remember it. It was about the virgins getting killed? Was that?
Yeah. Well, no. It was people who weren't virgins.
Yeah.
So when that got out, all of the teenagers in the town were rushing to have sex.
Yeah.
But it was an Australian director.
Oh, okay.
And he said in the commentary track, he said it without saying it, that she had a lot of cosmetic surgery.
Oh, okay.
After the fact, because what he said was he really liked the way she looked in the movie, and he said that he saw her some years later and it looked very much like she adapted to what Hollywood wanted in a leading lady.
Yeah.
And he said he was really disappointed by that because he thought she was beautiful the way she was.
Yeah.
For that invitation all summer. What if I blow a fuse and I short out the whole party?
Well, it's unfortunate when actors and actresses get work done quite young. You know, if you ever watched Modern Family, Haley's husband became addicted to surgery.
No, that's one of those shows where I tried to watch it a couple times. It's like, I don't get it. Why is this funny?
Yeah.
Anna Faris, too, got...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she got her nose and her... Even though there wasn't really anything wrong with her nose. And she got her lips. She admitted it, too. Like, some people do it and they're not open about it. But she was open about it because she said, because she was small busted, and when she did the house bunny, they had to give her some chicken cutlets.
Yeah.
And she said she really liked the way the clothes were fitting her better, and she just decided to buy some boobs. So
yeah, like I don't want people's decisions to get surgery, and I'm glad that it's spoken more openly now as opposed to saying, "Oh no, this is how I've always been." And
oh yeah, before it was a big secret. Howard, speaking of Howard Stern, he was talking about I've never, and I'm proud to say I've never seen any of the Real Housewives shows, but I think it was Kyle Richards got a nose job recently, and that she's supposedly unrecognizable now. And he said her plastic surgeon should be shot because it's really, really bad.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I do watch the Real Housewives.
Do you watch the Kardashians too? Because I will have to end this right now.
I have not watched the Kardashians. I do have a line.
All right, limits. That's good. So go ahead.
No, if it's the surgery that she's had showing on the show, I don't think she looks entirely different. But if it's something new that's
no, it just this like
since the
just
show,
happened.
it might be. Yeah.
Sometimes they lie down together, like over by these rocks.
This scene gets kind of graphic.
Oh, come on. Pretend I'm Marvel Ann. I mean, I don't want guys to think I'm frigid.
Well, for the straight crowd, it goes there, but
Do you have? Was the scene in your version when?
yes.
Yeah.
Well, unless it's extended upon, but
It glows in the sun.
Oh.
She gently touches my muscle.
like, doesn't he start talking about rimming
No.
She sinks to her knees.
or something like that? Oh,
My erect penis grazes her cheek. She slides it in her mouth, cupping my balls with one hand and playing with my anus.
Oh yeah, he does talk about his anus, but he doesn't say rimming.
yeah. No, it's a bit of butt play.
Yes. And poor Chiclet was horrified by that.
Hold on, Doctor. I don't take surprise visits.
I wanted to get here before Chiclet.
To you, she's not your chick.
She shouldn't be yours either. She's only a kid.
That's all you know.
Didn't Nicholas Brendan's brother do some episodes of Buffy?
I never watched Buffy. That's what I was
Oh.
going to say that earlier. It is being I was brought up with such more hardcore horror. Like, I think I just gravitated against more PG M-rated horror.
Well, you don't really have to follow the show, but if you get the chance, you can probably find it on YouTube. But there's a really, really good episode of Buffy with John Ritter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that I think that was my favorite episode of those that I'd seen, and you really don't. I think it was the first time I've ever seen him be menacing.
Yeah,
because you always picture him as funny and lovable, but he really pulled it off. He was good.
Yeah. I've intended to watch Buffy because I've nothing against it. I just never got into it when it was on telly.
No, I really, yeah. But after what? Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that I just started liking Sarah Michelle Gellar in movies after that.
Yeah. I watched a bit of that show Ringer that she was in, and I was kind of hoping that would do better than it did. But...
Oh God, I remember seeing the ads for it, and I just remember thinking it should have canceled stamped on it already because this show is not gonna last at all. It looked bad.
Yeah. I think I always root for someone's comeback.
Well, she's still with Freddie Prinze Jr. Well, which is kind of unheard of. They've been married over 20 years. And in Hollywood, that's an eternity. Now, who could do this in their head? Come on.
Yes, I know. I can't even do it when it's on paper.
I like the Seth R. Rufert.
I just remembered when she was late for an oboe class. Did you ever have to play a recorder in school?
We did. Well, when I was in 5th grade, my music teacher said that we were going to start learning how to play recorder like the following week or something like that. And he said you can get your own, or you can borrow one from the school. And I was not too keen on using a musical instrument, that especially one an air one, whatever you call it.
Saliva.
Yeah, I didn't want to put my mouth on something that other people had. So I told my mother, but I told my mom, I was like, we have to buy one. They said we have to buy one.
Yeah.
And it was only like $10. I went around the music store and I bought one, and I had it in my backpack every day. And I don't think I took it out once.
Yeah.
Because it was just something that he spoke of and then never spoke of it again.
Yeah.
How about you? Did you play recorder?
No, I was in the keyboard class. But I knew how to play a recorder. It's not a hard instrument.
I guess that's why they try to force it on the elementary school kids, to give them a little bit of confidence. So you can play keyboard?
Yeah. The scene, it always just reminds me of Grease 2. They had a luau.
I've never seen Grease 2. But I do enjoy Maxwell Caulfield. Very, very, very much, actually.
What do you enjoy, sorry?
Maxwell Caulfield.
Ah, yep.
For the longest time, I thought he was Australian. I didn't know he was English.
Oh, okay.
Because generally he's always American in everything that he does. I don't know what gave me the idea that he was Australian, but I do remember being very surprised when I found out that he was English. Have you seen that movie they did with Charlie Sheen, The Boys Next Door?
No. What was that about?
It was in like the early or mid '80s, and they were high school seniors who kind of they run away because I think they didn't want to take part in a traditional path. So they set off on kind of a crime spree.
Yeah.
But there's a bit of homoeroticism to it as well.
Yeah.
You get kind of the sense that one is kind of into the other.
Yeah.
But it's not reciprocated.
Yeah.
Some of it's pretty violent.
Okay. So I was thinking it might have been if it was inspired by a Dead Poets Society, but obviously not. If it becomes violent.
Dead Poets Society? No.
Well, that was popular.
You can't make a poo-poo platter without pineapple. Pull yourself together, Poloni. You're at the breaking point.
Yeah, I think I know why you went quiet there.
Oh, just gotta go make room for a dick.
Jesus Christ! Oh my God! Oh. Listen to you, Mr. Butterscotch, or whatever you said before.
With the Easter heads.
Mm.
So
Glamorous? Sophisticated? Scrumptious?
yeah. Look, I don't know how to say this.
I'm getting far too much into the movie.
Are you? Oh.
You do?
And not just because of the gay scenes.
I'm back to being Lassie, you're Timmy. Now get this. I'm gonna be the life of this luau. If anyone tries to stop me,
I'll kill him.
kill him.
That was right at the same time. So you've seen this a lot, huh?
No, well, I had seen it a fair few times when I had seen it, but it's been maybe a decade between.
What gives? You know, those
Have you recognized any other scenes that weren't in your version?
No. There was some that I was thinking, oh, but then no. Then I started remembering it. But
They started a long time ago. Where's Riley? So what
And did this get a theatrical release in Australia?
friendly visit.
no, we don't get a lot of
I appreciate that. Trash like you, I
we get some art house movies, but movies like this wouldn't get a theatrical release.
Good advice. To honor King
I mean,
Gibson, you need a virgin sacrifice.
Even recently, I read an article saying that it was an article about how movies are chosen for the cinema, and
What's the virgin sacrifice?
even good movies aren't shown sometimes. And they referenced how The Hurt Locker was originally going to be a DVD release, and then it started getting nominated for awards, and that got a cinema release in Australia.
Mm. What about Wolf Creek?
Well, that got a wide release.
Okay.
I watched it at the I watched that one at the Art House Cinema, but it was released at the chain cinemas as well.
That actually got I guess it got a wide release here because I saw it at one of the mainstream theaters.
What's going on back there?
When it first
What
came
was the
out.
rating?
R. And then when the
Oh,
DVD
okay.
then when the DVD came out, it was unrated.
Oh, okay. See, here it was Australia's version of NC-17, but in saying that, a lot of those movies are released at the cinema anyway.
Scumbags, form a circle.
No circle. That's not
Speaking of Australian cinema, I was listening to the commentary track of Patrick the other day, and it was just the director by himself, and he was kind of dry, and apparently the actor who played Patrick was in Road Games, which the director also did.
Yeah.
And that actor never did anything else after.
Yeah.
Forget his name, Richard Thompson or Robert Thompson or something like that.
Yep. Did you enjoy Patrick?
I did. I wanted him to spit more. Because that was how he communicated initially with.
Yes.
I'm gonna place you under hypnosis.
It's like a human
The
humidifier.
guilt complex.
Yeah, and then he started typing on the typewriter.
Yeah.
So you did see the movie? I thought you didn't see it.
No, I haven't seen it. I'm just hearing you out.
Mm.
Drowsy. You can't keep your eyes.
But yeah, that he just. Oh. But yeah, it was one for yes and another, and two for no.
I can't travel down the Hollywood
He only communicated with one nurse.
There's an operatic training.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a bad connection.
Help me.
Chiclet is like
That I mean, I don't know from opera, but that sounded really good to me.
Hmm.
Where are you?
The hotel.
Yeah.
I still have to check out the new Patrick.
Yeah.
I was going to get the unofficial Italian one, but the Blu-ray that just came out last year doesn't have an English dub.
Oh, okay.
So you can only see it subtitled.
Yeah.
And from what I hear, there's a lot of nudity, both male and female, and some pretty intense, pretty crazy sex. But a small a vanity company called Shriek Show put it out on DVD in, I think, 2003, and there's an English audio track on that one, but it's cut.
Yeah. The
And
nudity.
Well, there's also a really, really violent and over-the-top death sequence
Yeah.
that was cut. I would assume the nudity is probably cut too. And you know how I feel about circumcised films. I just can't do it.
Well, I was going to say if they're European Italians, I'm sure it's uncut.
Exciting story idea I've heard in years. This is the project that could showcase my talent as a great dramatic actress. Story. A surfer chick with a split personality. Oh, I can see a hit Broadway play. So at the movie lights. Honey, I want to
Hit Broadway play. Unfortunately, this never played Broadway.
Yeah. Did it even play off-Broadway?
Yeah, it was off-Broadway.
Yeah.
I hate to miss your opening night, but I'll be
But you were saying about Rocky Horror Picture Show. Do you like that one?
I do. There's a cinema that plays it every Friday the 13th.
Every Friday?
No, whenever it's Friday the 13th.
Oh. Well, that's coming up.
Yeah, in August, I reckon.
August,
Yeah.
yep.
So I'll be looking forward to that. Do you like Rocky Horror?
I do. It's probably the only musical that I actually like.
Yeah. But you were saying you don't really like Priscilla.
No, I didn't like it. Was
The
that
other
a
humor?
musical? I don't even remember.
No, well, it had a lot of lip syncing to some songs, but it was just a cross country drag show.
My ex liked that one, and he also liked that one with Sean Hayes, Billy's Hollywood Screen Kiss. Or for
okay.
I didn't. That one I didn't really care for.
Yeah.
Now I've been a fan of Rocky Horror since I was about 12 or 13.
Yeah. And that was again, I saw it on telly late at night, and that was again a movie that I didn't realize wasn't a horror. So it took a second viewing to really appreciate it.
But the music in it is so much fun. I think that's one of the main reasons why I can sit through it, because, you know, it's sort of music that propels the story, but it's very it's at the same time it's very catchy.
Yeah.
What's your favorite song?
Well, I'll love the Time Warp for one, but I wanted to. A friend of mine really loved the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and he died a few years ago.
Oh.
And so a song that always reminds me of him is "I'm Coming Home." So I think that's sort of my spiritual favorite.
Oh, that's sad.
Oh, that's these things happen.
Still, I was surprised to learn.
Can you guess what mine is?
There's a light. No, I'm not sure which one.
science fiction double feature.
Nice. Me and a friend did a cover of that called comedy double feature because I was part of a events committee and we hosted a cinema screening of a double feature. So that was part of the advertising that we did.
Mm.
I think not.
I also really like the reprise at the end that plays over the credits.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, at least she's not alone. It's a good thing she has Lars with her.
Have you seen Shock Treatment?
I watched maybe the first half an hour of it, and I would like to finish it, but it was I started watching it late.
It's not very good.
I didn't mind it, but it wasn't one I was expecting much of.
What are you doing?
Well, what is his name?
Tim Curry?
No. Who wrote it? Riff Raff.
Yes.
He's tried to do other things, but he was never able to match the success of Rocky Horror with, I don't think, anything.
Well, it was lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
And the director, he only ever did Shock Treatment as well.
Why are you running away from me?
But he did a movie with Elvira as well.
Ah.
That also wasn't very good. And if it's a movie with Elvira and it's not very good, that says a lot.
Yeah.
I can finally do myself.
But I think a lot of it had to do with my going in with such high expectations, because Mr. of the Dark is just such, it's just like one of my favorite movies of all time, and one that I've seen so many times before and know so well, and I don't think I would change anything about it. So I think that it's really, really, really big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
And while Haunted Hills wasn't terrible, it wasn't Mistress of the Dark at all. And it's set in Romania and like fucking like the 18th century.
So why kill me? I'm your pal. I'm the one who fixed your pants.
Now I don't know this actor.
He was in Scream 3, and that's about all I know him from. And I have a feeling he might be British, but I could be wrong again.
I really don't remember much of anything about Scream 3.
It's one that I need to rewatch.
I don't think you do.
I don't mind the. I was one of the few. I don't mind Scream 4, but a lot of people didn't really like it.
I'm wondering if they're going to go ahead with Part 5 without Wes Craven.
Well, it looks like. I feel like it's already going ahead with the directors of. Oh God, what was that one? Ready or Not?
Oh.
Little worm. No man conquers Anne Bowman.
What?
You like being humiliated, don't you?
Help me!
I love how she spits on him.
The bitch is gone.
Now so are you.
Did you like Ready or Not?
Make me.
I did like it. There were other people who loved it, but I thought it was a good 90 minutes.
Poor Larry.
That's the end of that.
And yourself?
There were moments that I did enjoy and moments that I really, really didn't enjoy. I hated all the humor because it was so stupid.
Oh, okay.
All the one-liners and one thing that I hated, I can't remember what it was. I must not have hated it that much, but it always sticks out as one of the dumbest moments in the movie. When whatever the lead girl's name is, when she escapes and she's in the middle of the road and she's trying to get somebody to stop. And when he keeps on going, she yells something at him. Something about, why don't you suck a dick, or something along those lines. And I was like, really? But with the gore, that which I thought was pretty over the top. And the story, which was pretty dark. I just didn't think that the humor gelled very well.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought the fantastical element at the end came as a surprise to me.
Yes, I definitely wasn't expecting it. I will say that.
Yeah.
I thought it was just going to be okay.
I liked it or not.
No, the same. I feel the same way. Yeah, I thought it was just going to be some stupid thing that people believed in for no reason, but it actually was real.
Yeah. See, and more recently, I watched the movie You're Next, and I felt that had a similar storyline to it, but I preferred You're Next.
I've heard that's a good one, but I haven't seen it. That one I keep hearing people talk about, and It Follows, and I haven't seen either of them. But I can't find audio described versions of either of those.
Okay. I enjoyed both of them, but yeah, if you can give them a go, if you give them a find.
I got a shipping confirmation today that my
Kimberly Davies, that was the
oh, okay,
the actress.
I don't think I've seen her in anything else.
No.
But yeah, I got a shipping confirmation that my Midsummer is on its way.
Oh, nice. I hope you enjoy it.
I'm very interested to see. Have you seen the theatrical version, or just extended?
No, well, I've seen both because the theatrical version I got on DVD was only MA, and then I saw the R-rated version, so I gave my sister the MA one, and I bought the R one for myself.
So it was the 2 hours and 27 minutes one?
The R one is the 3 hour, or closer to 3 hour.
I have to say, I was not too happy when I did a Wikipedia search for Ari Aster and saw that he was only 36.
Oh, okay.
It didn't really make me feel too good about myself.
Yes, I know what you mean, but
yeah, because both Midsummer and Hereditary are pretty sophisticated movies for a writer-director who is so young.
I watched one of his short movies that was quite it wasn't a horror, but it was quite distressing about incest.
Oh.
Which I thought was good. You know, it's not a happy subject, but I thought it was well done.
Mm-hmm.
But I forget the name. It was something like The Thing About the Johnsons or something like that. It
was
a family name in it.
And I think there's some of his shorts on one of the Blu-rays.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I reckon his other shorts are also on YouTube. You can easily look them up.
Maybe we can do commentary for the extended Midsummer. That would be a long one.
That would be an investment, yes.
Oh no, but I was trying to say before. I'm interested to see how the extended scenes affect the movie, because supposedly it's almost a totally different movie.
Oh, I was glad that they're in it, but I felt that not that it didn't add anything to it. I just you got to see more of the boyfriend's. He sort of gaslights her, people say, and
yeah,
you get to sort of see him treat her a bit worse sometimes. And but in saying that, I actually, what I liked about the movie is that it didn't feel like it dragged. I didn't feel like I was kept looking at the clock to see when's this going to finish. It's the 3 hours passed by quite easily for me.
I must say though that the way that what's her name, Danny, her character was written and the way she was played, I really, really felt sorry for her.
Yeah.
Because she lost everything, and he was all she had left, and he didn't even want her anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
And which was awful. And then she ends up getting a whole new family.
Yeah.
Which was kind of twisted and macabre. I was listening to a podcast, and they're talking about they were comparing it pretty heavily to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original.
Okay.
And
yeah.
I could see some similarities, but I don't think, because he was saying that it was basically like a remake, and I was no, I kind of have to disagree there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, you know, you have the guy wearing the friend's face, and the hammer, getting hit over the head with the hammer. They have their own take on the dinner scene. Only, you know, there's more pubic hair.
I see it was sort of a remake of not remake, but influenced by Wizard of Oz, and I find that more fascinating than Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I never thought of that. That's interesting.
Where, you know, the boyfriend is the cowardly lion, and you have the fool in the scare, like he's dressed as a scarecrow or something at the end anyway, as well. Like,
and he's in the wheelchair, which I think goes back to Chainsaw. I really didn't think that I was gonna like it, because it was one of those. Hereditary too. They were both movies that people were constantly talking about.
Yeah.
And saying how amazing they were, and I just remember thinking there's no way it's going to be anywhere near as good as it is. But I didn't enjoy I need to give Hereditary another viewing, or listening rather. I did enjoy it. I don't know how I felt about the ending though. That was the thing.
Yeah. See, when I watched it to the end and thought about it later, it reminded me of the type of movies like it reminded me of Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah, that's what everybody says. Yeah, that's what everybody says. That's like the biggest comparison that I've heard. Is Rosemary's Baby. And I can for sure see it. I don't know. I just. And isn't there some full frontal male nudity in that one too?
There is, yes, but not.
Oh no, it's the old men, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
So yes, I'm not missing out on anything there.
Well, that was Psycho Beach Party.
It was, and it was also
Did
a
you
lot
enjoy
of
it
us
again?
rambling. Oh
No,
yes.
no, that's all right. I enjoyed the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It was good to watch that again. It's been so long.
Yes, and you got to see that cut scene with
Yes, I did. Yeah.
saggy boobs. How did you feel about the saggy
disappointing
boobs?
is I feel that what's most disappointing is when I see a cut scene in the trailer, but then not in the movie. And I think
That was in the
scene
trailer?
in the trailer, yeah.
Wow. That's interesting. From what I hear about trailers or more modern trailers is that people complain a lot about is they give everything away in them.
Yeah.
But that is a conscious effort on the part of the distributor because they're really trying to get the people into the theater to see it.
Yeah.
Because people
And sometimes you say that after you've seen the movie and then you go, oh, that trailer gave away a lot, as opposed to seeing the trailer and knowing what the story is going to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well. Yeah, but I do miss the voiceover that kind of narrates.
In a world, that guy.
That guy. And they don't even say the title anymore in the trailer, and they rarely say the actors in it.
Yeah.
I miss the trailers of yore. I think the best trailers were, the period for trailers were the late 80s through to the early aughts.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like 70s trailers because they were just clips strewn together.
Yeah.
If you look at the Halloween trailer, the original Halloween trailer, it's awful. I hate that trailer. And they say the title about 1 million times.
Yep. Well, that's how people remember.
I mean, how could you forget Halloween? Especially since the whole trailer is about Halloween. Oh, speaking of which, I was talking to my friend. Well, I haven't spoken to her in a while. But my friend Liz, who lives in Victoria, she was telling me that Halloween is becoming or has slowly become more, I don't know if I want to say prominent, but it's starting to grow more in Australia.
Well, like back when I was a child, it wasn't a huge thing, whereas now, you'll have the sales coming on where, they've got aisles at the supermarket with lanterns, and the lollies to give away.
Uh-huh.
Which is fine. I don't think it's not an American holiday. It's a pagan ritual. So,
right. Yes.
Like, I feel that some Australians become quite anti-American, like we want to keep our own voice, but it's not an American purely thing.
No.
Those Australians need to get over themselves. But
well, Liz was telling me that because this was like before COVID, so it was like 2019, that they purposely bought a specific kind of candy. I don't remember. It's some Australian thing that I'd never heard of. But it's her husband really likes it, And so that year they only got like maybe 2 trick-or-treaters.
Yeah.
So her husband just ate the rest of the candy. So
Oh,
it wasn't a loss.
Yeah. Made good use of it in the end.
Yes. There you go. Okay. I'm sure the children are missing you terribly. So
They are. They'll be waiting for me to come out.
so adorable. I could just imagine them.
I've
saying,
got 2
"Where is
Labradors,
he?"
by the way. That's what we're talking about.
Yes. Mitchell and Dakota are
Yes.
Tony's cherished Labradors, who are very, very sweet and wake him up with kisses every morning
Yes. Yes.
because they love their daddy so much. Does Matthew get jealous of their adoration towards you, or are they just as affectionate toward him?
I think they're more with me, but they have a different affection for Matthew. He's a bit more stricter with them. They jump up on me, whereas they know to sort of not jump up onto the couch with him.
Okay.
They can get away with a lot more with me.
I can see that. You seem like the fun dad.
that agree.
You're the dad who would let them borrow the car on a Friday night.
Yeah.
To go to the puppy drive-in and see R-rated movies. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So that was Psycho Beach Party. And I want to thank you very much for joining me again. It was a lot of fun as usual.
Yes, it was enjoyable.
Yes. And we're going to do some more exploitation, hopefully soon. And so, yeah, until next time, this is Brandon Ford wishing you all unpleasant dreams.